You're listening to the Intuitive Souls podcast. I am your host, Erica Russo, and this podcast is designed to educate, inspire, and enlighten. Let's wake up together. Hey guys, welcome to the Intuitive Souls podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Super excited that the universe led you here. If you're an OG, you know that I fucking love you and that I'm sending you virtual hugs. And thank you so much for your continued support. And if this podcast is helping you, if it's giving you tools, if it's inspiring you, if it's making you feel not that crazy or not that alone on your spiritual path, if you can head on over to iTunes and write a review, I would really greatly appreciate it, because those reviews is basically what allows me to get this podcast to the ears that need to hear it. But before you go ahead and click submit, make sure you take a screenshot and send that screenshot to me at hello@ericarusso.co. The information will be in the show notes for you, because I want to send you my soul alignment activation for free as a thank you for your support and taking the time out of your busy schedule to write a review. So, with that being said, I have some pretty fucking epic news that I'm really excited to share. So, I have done coaching or one-on-one coaching in the past for businesses, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and my clients saw really good results. And I have been doing this online business thing for a while now, and I have learned a fuck of a lot to how to grow and scale your online business and to really come from a place that it's not salesy, and you're shining your light in a unique and really beautiful way, and you're not uncomfortable doing it. So I have created a 6-week one-on-one business coaching program for spiritual entrepreneurs and healers that want to grow and scale their business in a way that keeps you happy, that makes you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and not feeling like depleted or you're doing things that you are not aligned with. So I am so fucking proud of this course. If you heard me talk about the Align Light Academy, which is my 6-week intuitive and mediumship development program, I put my heart and soul into these programs, and I give you all of the tools you need in order to succeed and be aligned with your mission, your voice, and your business. And because this is my beta program, and it is a one-on-one program, okay, guys, like seriously, you're getting access to a member portal with 6 modules of massive content that's going to teach you how to grow and scale your business, make it profitable, sell from your soul. You're also getting weekly access to me. I will be your business mentor. I will answer your questions that you need, everything. And I'm so excited about this program, because we need more light workers, and we need more people to be able to feel comfortable in the online space and grow their mission, grow their brand in a way that they don't feel uncomfortable. Because let's be real, guys, the online spiritual entrepreneur market is completely oversaturated. And in order to really come from a place of love and shine your light the way you want to shine it, you need to have some sort of business sense. And this program is going to give you everything you need. Again, this is my beta program, so the price is incredibly low, and I'm just so fucking excited about it, because I know the universe is going to send me the most epic clients, because it sent me the most epic clients for my Align Light Academy. So if you are interested, The program is going to start May 27th. Head on over to my Instagram or my website to book your 30-minute discovery call for free to learn more about this amazing opportunity. I'm so excited about it, guys. Like, everything that I've learned, from the coaches that I've hired to the programs that I've taken to the courses that I've taken to all the fucking seminars and the workshops and all of that shit, I'm giving everything that works to you. And again, this is a really unique opportunity because it is my beta program. This is the first time I'm ever running this program, and it is a one-on-one mentorship. So I can only take a certain number because, well, let's be real, I'm also, stuck at home with my kids. So I really need to limit the amount of clients I take for this. So if you really are seriously interested in it, you can head on over to my website and get more information about it and book a discovery call, because this is going to be exactly the push that you need in order to make profit in your business, to grow your business, to have money coming in each month. Because let's be real, when we're an entrepreneur and we're starting out, 1 month is great, the next month not so much. And this is going to teach you how to just always consistently bring in income each month. I am so excited for this, guys, and I cannot wait to see what the universe brings me with this program. So that's that. Okay. And then another thing is that I am officially taking one-on-one life coaching clients now. Okay. And again, I am not taking that many right now. My time is limited. I really don't have that much time, but I know that someone listening right now needs this. And I know that someone is already like, oh, fuck yes, I need to put in an application for this. So if you are interested, again, this is a commitment of 3 months. You will see me every single week. We will do a Zoom session. You're going to get access to a member portal with so much shit that's going to help you completely transform your life, trust your intuition, love yourself unconditionally, have the tools to be able to work through really anything that life throws you. So if you are interested in that one-on-one coaching, which is, again, a 12-week commitment, you can head on over to my website and there's more information there for you. So now that that's all out of the way, let's talk about the guest that was on this podcast. So I asked my cousin, Sam, to come on. This has been a long time coming. We were going back and forth for a while, and we finally just did it. And we just had such a great conversation. She is a yoga instructor, and she's had a pretty crazy life, I have to say. She is one of the most inspirational people in my life. I look up to her so much. And she's just incredible, and she shares so many great insights that she has learned on her journey. So I'm so excited to have her on the show. She's just amazing. Guys, follow her on Instagram, and she was sweet enough to offer all of my listeners 1 week free of yoga, which is obviously virtual. So head on over to Instagram and check her out, because she's amazing. I love her. And that's not because I have to, because she's my cousin. She's just one of the best souls ever. So I hope you guys enjoy today's podcast, and I will see you soon. Cousin here, Samantha Nimock. Perfect. I got it right. And she is actually a yoga teacher where are you now? Because you've been all over.
All over. St. Louis, Missouri, of all places.
St. Louis, Missouri, originally from New York, spent time in Colorado. And today I wanted her to come on because first off, she's one of my favorite people ever, but I wanted her to come on because she has such an amazing story, and I feel like there's someone listening that can really resonate with her and her journey into yoga. So, Sam, tell us a little bit about your spiritual journey and how you came to find your love of yoga.
Okay. Well, thank you, Erica. Also one of my very favorite people. Gosh, that question, I've been thinking about how to answer that. And it's so, it's such a crazy, wild journey how I got to yoga and my spiritual journey. It started in high school, actually. One of my best friends, who you know, Erica, Chelsea.
Yes.
Are we good still? Okay, yeah, here we go. So she was my neighbor, and her dad has always been on the spiritual path and used to go to India for 3 months at a time and go stay at ashrams and things. And so, well, you know this, but I lost my parents when I was 12. And so in high school, it was really confusing. And my biggest question was why. And so I struggled with that for a really long time. And it also wasn't anything we talked about. Like my aunts and uncles, nobody brought up the fact that I lost my parents. Like it was just this thing we didn't talk about. And so when I would go to Chelsea's dad's house, it was different. He had a little meditation room, and he introduced me to Eckhart Tolle, the Power of Now. And I'm like 15 reading this, and I just felt like it was written for me, like the pain body and the emotional pain body and all these things. So I don't even know if he knows this, but he is the person who really opened my eyes to living a different way. I also, I'm like, who's going to listen to this? I grew up in a family too that had a lot of alcohol and just some dysfunction there. And I love them all so much, but I also just thought that was the way it had to be. And then her dad really showed me there was something different, a different way of living. So that sparked the interest.
So
yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, that's so true. Cause like someone who just does their thing and just honors their spiritual purpose in their life, they have no clue how many people they are touching just by living their spiritual truth, you know?
Yes.
I'm sure he never had the intention to, transform you into the amazing yoga teacher that you are, but just because he was aware and he kind of shined his light.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He listens to this.
I know. I might have to send it to him.
I know. That's so sweet. So what type of yoga do you do?
Yeah. So right now, I'm going to start with my very first training was in India, and the style was called Ashtanga Yoga. And Ashtanga is really rooted in, it's just like the ancient philosophy of yoga. And so I learned so much while I was there, Sanskrit and about the chakras and all these things. And what I loved about Ashtanga is that it's the same sequence every time. So you can eventually really just tune into your breath and get quiet with your body. And then I taught that for a few years in Steamboat, Colorado. But I found that I wasn't, it wasn't really authentic for me, speaking in Sanskrit and chanting. And yeah, it didn't feel authentic. And it also wasn't really landing in my teaching because it wasn't authentic for me. And then they opened a studio in my small mountain town in Colorado. And it was a studio based in Baptiste Power Yoga. And when I first took it, I was going in like so judgy, like, oh, this is a hot yoga studio and an American designed this style of yoga. And like, I'm not going to get anything out of this. Right. And of course I laid in Shavasana at the end, like crying my eyes out, like, oh my God, I've been looking for this. And because I was growing bored of yoga, it kind of lost its magic with me. So anyway, I took this style and I had a fantastic teacher. Her name is Shannon. And I learned it was very similar to Ashtanga because it's also a set sequence. However, the person who started this, Baron Baptiste, had the same experience. When I was reading his book, I was like, oh, that's what I've been feeling. He grew up traveling back and forth to India, and his parents started the studio, and one of the first ones in California. And when he was teaching, as a teenager and an early adult, he felt like it was all just regurgitated information, like all the scripts and things he had learned. And anyway, he styled this practice to be in English so everyone can understand it, no Sanskrit, the set sequence so that you get to see your body shift throughout time. And the third element he ties into Baptiste yoga that makes it different from some of the other styles is inquiry, which I really like. So it's kind of like storytelling throughout the class, which I love, because then we can just like land themes really well, and it's really relatable, and it gets you thinking how to live a more full whole life off your mat. It's like a really kind of condensed way of putting that style of yoga.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like more than just like a yoga class. That literally sounds like a spiritual experience.
It is. And it is. And what's so cool is people don't even, so I've landed in St. Louis, Missouri. And if I came here with my Buddha statues, which I love Buddha, but if I came here with only my Buddha statues and like my incense, I think I would probably get, like in Colorado, it's like everybody's doing that. But I think if I came here, there might be a wall up against that. And it's so cool. I've attracted so many people just in our town who have never experienced yoga before. And because they're coming into something where it's like, I'm not chanting with them, I'm not saying Sanskrit, they can immediately feel different in their body. And then just the storytelling is like so relatable, that I think it really gets people thinking off of their mat how to just live more wholly,
Right.
like completely.
Mindfully. Yeah.
Mindfully. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's beautiful. So your story, I mean, I don't want you to like pour out your story, and we've already touched about it a little bit, but if there is anything that you have learned throughout your life, because I mean, guys, I can't tell you, like, this is legit my cousin that I'm talking to. We were in diapers together, and just her story and how she has just completely transformed her life to be so empowering is just like, can bring you to tears, and just all the lessons that you've already learned. I mean, throughout your life, what are some of the things or some of the lessons or just the wisdom that you've accrued throughout your life?
Yeah, I mean, that's
a hard one, right?
No, yeah, but you're right. Like, I look back too, I don't feel as connected anymore to that little girl as I did for so long. But I look back too, and I mean, I saw some pretty dark stuff growing up. My parents were, before they passed away, really bad alcoholics. And I actually don't even know if because I don't know as a kid if I like talked about it ever, but I would hide behind the couch most nights because my parents were screaming at each other. Cops were at our house like all the time. And if that wasn't happening, I'd come home and like they would be completely mostly my mom, completely passed out. And like I didn't know half the time like if she was alive. And so yeah, that was really traumatic. And in high school, I just, again, because I didn't really have anyone who talked to me about this, nobody like, it just was like one day that was my life, and then boom, they passed away, and now I'm in a whole new life, and it like never got talked about. And so I didn't experience really any grief or anything throughout high school. It was like I was just go, 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 go. And it wasn't until my first experience in college where I was with a bunch of girls and we were abroad and they all called home that suddenly I felt like, whoa, like 20 years of grief just like started pouring out. And that's what really started the lessons and the learning, because I had to re-experience so much of that trauma. I mean, I was in therapy for like 3 years and was suicidal and super anxious. I was having anxiety attacks all the time. I couldn't eat. I don't think you and I even really talked during that period. I
mean, I remember when I don't remember if we were teenagers or like in our early 20s, but I remember dealing with
18 when I really cracked.
Yeah.
And so
I remember you dealing with like severe anxiety.
Yeah. And actually I have a picture of us. And I'm pretty sure I'm drinking in it. And it was like, I was like a stick. I mean, I just had lost so much weight because I couldn't eat anything. I was so unhealthy. And my point of this though is I really had to go through that, because prior to it, I was just numb and I wasn't really experiencing like a whole life. And I had to go through that process and that darkness to really come out of it. And so what I've learned since then, so many things, but the the biggest thing has been like visioning. I don't know if I have a better word for it, but I at some point just knew my life had to change. And so I started to dream bigger. And I think because like I was never afraid to dream. I don't think either of us were. Like I remember being in the woods with you as like 7-year-olds and like living in a completely different reality.
Yeah.
And I knew in high school, like my brothers, stepbrothers always say like, how come you didn't end up being addicted to drugs or alcohol? And it was because like in high school, I kept my eye, like I knew I was going to graduate and I knew I was getting the hell out of New York. And like, I always was able to see something better for myself. So I think like the first step is to be not afraid of dreaming, really allow yourself to see a better space for you. And,
Right.
and then the second thing, I really got into books. Like when I was about 23, I met this old lady in Colorado who's she's like 95 now and is still like my teacher, mentor, mama. And she just literally handed me like 10 books that were all different in the spiritual realm. And reading and starting to like learn all these different philosophies, that just helped. Some of them I hated, some of them weren't for me. But my point was like being open to different healing modalities, I guess, which, you know, for me and you right now is Abraham Hicks. But like just listening to different podcasts and reading different things. And I didn't know in my little bubble in New York that this world of consciousness even existed.
Right.
And so, not being afraid to dream and explore different healing modalities.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know if that makes sense, but those are like the two big things that help me.
It does make so much sense. Is like, just don't quit your daydream. Like, don't. And yeah, we definitely were daydreamers. Like we could really, we can entertain ourselves for hours. Like, do you remember Tropic Frost and then like our bar that we created and everything?
Yes.
Yeah, we never had a problem just kind of getting out of life and just creating a life, you know, creating a magical place. I mean, we were good at it. We were really
so good at it. Yeah. And I think so. I've been coaching a few women recently, and I had a workshop here that was all about visioning. And it's wild because as adults, a lot of us have lost that art because it's like not realistic to want XYZ. It's not, I mean, a lot of them, these women I'm working with are too afraid to even voice like, yeah, actually when I was little, like I really wanted this and it's still kind of in there. And so it's been super fun using some tools to get women to dream again.
Right.
You know, the power of that. Mm-hmm.
No, it's so true. Do you remember some of the books too that you read?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that. So I don't know that I recommend this one, but the first book that this woman gave me, it's called Ye Are Gods. It is so old. It's written in a really old language. I still have never finished it from beginning to end. But the first page got me. The first page, I remember her handing it to me. The background of this woman is my husband's brother, who I didn't know my husband at the time, but I knew his brother, put this woman's number in my phone and was like, you should call her. She's this old lady who lives in the mountains. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll never call her. But then I went through this really hard, I was a single mom in Colorado, like no family, one friend. And I had a breakdown and I called this woman and I ended up in her room and I'm like crying my eyes out. And I was like, I'm so alone. I have no family and I'm a single mom and like my parents died and da da da. And she looked at me and she's like, oh, lucky you. And I was like, what? What do you mean lucky me? You know? And she hands me this book and this book was basically the first page. And I don't even know if I can remember what it said, but it like spoke to me like, do you feel like there's more to this life than what you're currently living? And I was like, yes, that's me. So Ye Are Gods is one of them. And then like a recent book that I just loved was You Are a Badass. And that's all about dreaming and visioning.
Yeah.
And I love Jen Sincero. Like she's so funny and so down to earth. And
so
you're gonna pull it out. Yep, exactly. Like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really good book.
And The Artist's Way, which I saw you were reading that one. I love The Artist's Way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, there's so many good books. I mean, it's so funny how you said that really the power of now was like wow, because
that was mine. And that was Tony's too. That was just like, oh my God, like everyone should read this book, you know?
Yes.
Everybody should read this book. And it's not even about being spiritual or anything. Cause like, I try to be like as grounded as I possibly can when it comes to this stuff, because I know that spiritual and all this stuff and talking about guides and angels and stuff, it can deter people and it can scare people, but it's like, you should have magic in your life. Why not? You know, it's there for you. It's abundant. That's how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be filled with joy, you know?
Yes. Yeah, actually behind me, I don't know if you can see it, Erica, but one of my like core values is joy. And I used to feel guilty about feeling joyful. Like I shouldn't be happy because of all these things that happen. Like, no, like being joyful is, to me, that's what spirituality is, however people experience it. Because I'm with you. If I start talking about guides or even like the G word, like God, like people freak out. Like they have this, a lot of people have a weird connotation with it. And all I think you and I really talk about and live is like this whole connection with ourselves, being grounded, like you said, and joy comes from that.
Yeah, I don't, you know, because there's like, I'm on TikTok and a lot of people are like, do you talk about star seeds and Pleiadians? And I'm like, you know, I don't not believe in that stuff, but it's not, I want to take the wisdom that I've learned and I want to teach it to other people so they can just be happy and they can
absolutely
joyously and realize that the magic has always been within them. And it's not, you know what I mean? It's not about, you know, all the other, you know, shit. Like, I just want to give you the tools to be happier. That's it.
Right. And so that's how I felt when I used to teach about chakras and things. I was like, what the hell? Come on. Like, what is a chakra? Like, I do actually believe that we have energetic centers in our body, but that is like, it's not tangible. It's just this, like kind of spiritual idea of what's happening, as opposed to like for instance, one of the chakras, the root chakra, is all about fear, or not fear. It's all about feeling grounded and stable. And like right now, like our anchor in life is kind of being rocked. And it's so much easier for people to understand that their anchor of home and stability is being rocked versus like think red and think root. You know, like it's not that I don't believe in it. I actually love teachers who teach like that, but I think for a lot of people it's just too much to hear it in that way.
Right. You have to be and I think that like a lot, I don't know, there's I'm not saying like they're not light workers, but there's a lot of people that teach about the chakras and the star seeds and different, all of that stuff. And that's wonderful that they're sharing what they know and stuff like that. But for me, it's like, I don't want to scare you away. I want to help you transform your life. So I'm going to be as grounded as possible. And I'm going to teach in real time. And I'm going to teach you like, no, your chakras actually are legit. And this is how you do them. This is how you know.
Exactly.
It's not about red or exactly how you said it. It's like, give the people proof, tangible proof, and let them figure it out on their own. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And sorry, going back to books though, another really good one, Big Magic by Liz Gilbert. That's another good one.
I just ordered that on Audible.
Okay, we're gonna throw that. Her chapter, I feel like it's on a meme everywhere now, so I'm sure your listeners know it, but she's got this page on driving with fear, and how like she puts, because it's really fear that blocks most of us from visioning and from living our happiest life. And she's like puts fear in this way that he's in the back seat and he's in the car with her. It's really, I can't, I don't know verbatim, but it's good. It's a good book.
Yeah, no, I mean, my friend read it and she was like, oh, have you read this book? And I was like, no, I haven't read it yet. And it's finally like on my list. I don't know. I'm trying to get into more of Audible because it's so hard to find the time to sit down with a book, even though I love it. But like, I actually just finished Super Attractor by Gabrielle Byrne.
Ooh, yeah.
That was good.
I'm reading that right now.
Yeah, that was good. She's good.
There's so many.
Yeah, the universe has
I guess
good.
That was another thing I was going to say too when you said, do I have any like tips or anything? I think the biggest thing, so I've been on this journey now of like understanding who I am and how to find joy, consciously trying to figure that out for about 10 years. And I feel like it didn't really click for me. And I don't know if you ever get to a place, I think the journey just keeps on evolving. But I think I'm more grounded in myself than I've ever been, because it just started to make sense. And so what I was going to say is all of these books, like I have tossed so many of them to the side. And I think it's important to know that like they all kind of say the same thing. And one of them will say it in a way that will like click for you.
Right.
Or whoever's listening, right? Like,
right.
And to not give up with that. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense, because like everything that Abraham Hicks teaches, everything that Wayne Dyer teaches, I mean, this is the people that I listen to on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. Everything they're teaching me is the same. I just like realized that, you know, it's everything, all of their concepts and the teachings are the same. It's just, they speak about it in a different way. And sometimes it clicks when I'm listening to Wayne. Sometimes it clicks when Abraham says it.
Totally.
But, you know, it's also too, guys, like, just so you know, our subconscious mind loves repetition. It loves repetition. Yes. So I've realized like every single day I need to have some sort of personal development, whether that be just Abraham Hicks in the background. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be you sitting there journaling for 5 hours or 10 hours or whatever. It's just, you want personal development and growth to be a part of your everyday life, you know?
Absolutely. And that's why I said, I don't think it ever ends. And I'm with you right now. I start every single morning I wake up before anyone else in the house does, and I grab a cup of coffee, and me and Abraham sit there for about 15 to 20 minutes. And it is the best way to start the day. I can't hear it enough. And if I don't hear it enough, like I go back in old habits, which like is more reactive and reaction, and I'm not the best mom. And then, but when I'm like setting my day that way to respond, it becomes easier.
I was waking up earlier, and just because I needed that time to be by myself and meditate and do my, you know, gratitude and everything. I mean, I'm going to get back into it, but like, you know, Corona and everything, just like, No, I think that like a daily practice is so important. It's so important. And it doesn't have to be, you know, obviously, you know, meditation is super important, but sometimes gratitude will trump meditation.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, sometimes it's literally sitting there, putting a timer on your phone for 3 minutes and literally just going on a gratitude spree. I mean, that just elevates your consciousness and your vibration instantly.
I know. And I can't tell you how many years I heard about gratitude, and like, it was and I just wanted it to be easier. Like it could get any easier than that. I just wanted it to be easier, and it doesn't work like right away, or it didn't for me. And now that's actually one of the things I'll do with Abraham. She has like a 10-minute meditation, and it's like, this is a really good day. Today's going to be a really good day. Like,
yes, I heard that.
Outside. Yeah. And every time I'm like, yeah, today is a good day. I love this day. I'm great. And I feel better every day.
Yeah. No, it is. And like, that's like something I want you guys to know is like, it's not just one day you're going to do a gratitude with Abraham Hicks or listen to Abraham Hicks. Your subconscious mind needs repetition. So you need to do it every day. That's the secret. That's the secret, you know, and and you can switch it up. Like, that's the great thing, you know, every time, like for me, Abraham Hicks is like, I'm listening more to their books, but when I'm putting on my makeup every single time without, you know, fault, Abraham is in the background, and I just allow it to just be my background music. And and just elevates you. Listening and just like how positive, and you just get it. Like, I love Abraham, and we were just talking about this before, and I said Bashar is pretty good too, but I you know, if you guys start out with Abraham Hicks, but there is another channeled entity called Bashar who is very basically teaches the same as Abraham, you know. but yeah, so I love that you wake up and you do that and you just listen to Abraham.
That's been a new quarantine thing of mine, and I love it. I can't believe I haven't done it my whole life.
Yeah, right. Sometimes you're just going to find something, I think, and it's so important. Just find that thing that just completely sparks that joy within you and do it every single day and see how your life will change.
Yeah, and you're right. It's the thing that brings you joy. So that was another thing too. For so long, I was like, my mornings, I'd like write out how I wanted my mornings to be, and they were so lengthy, and like I didn't look forward to it. I just like kind of thought I had to do it. And if you're not looking forward to it, then you're not gonna get up and do it. And so for me, like not having to sit in my own silence, but kind of meditate along with someone and drink my coffee, like that's perfect. I enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes maybe meditation right in the morning seems like a chore to you. You know what I mean? I had a lot of clients that were like, you know, waking up and doing meditation doesn't work for me. Okay, that's fine. But do something that feeds your soul.
Yeah. Every day. Every day. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Total. Oh my God. I love it. Like if you guys knew our family, I'm not going to tell my mom. If she actually figures out how to listen to this podcast, I will be very surprised because I'm not going to tell her. But like, if you guys knew how our family was and how our childhood was like for us to both be like, Abraham Hicks, yes. It's just funny. It's just
but
really,
you know what? Funny. It just dawned on me, like if Aunt Lolly is listening, Aunt Lolly, I love you. It's actually because of her, like in her own way. I don't know if she did this. So when I would go to Erica's house for like the first hour, I'd be like, I don't know if you remember those boys that lived at the end of your road, but I was terrified. There was like 2 boys. I was so scared of them. And Aunt Lolly would like kick us out of the house like 7:30, like, see you guys, no kids allowed. And I would like be so scared of these boys. And however, because she didn't let us back inside and was like, you're going to spend the day outside, I think being in nature, because eventually like Erica and I would run away. I don't remember these kids, but they're flashing in my head. Anyway, we'd like run away from them, I think. And we'd go in the woods and just spend all day. Like I remember like the skunk weed, we'd make like skunk weed traps. And being with nature is so healing. And like, I think maybe early on, like we knew there was something more than what we were like, what was given to us face value. And so in a way, Lolly kicked us out into this maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll give her a little bit of credit. She wants some.
She didn't know that's what was happening, right? But that happened.
Right. No, I mean, we really did. Like I remember like we would always be freaked. I remember having to like take the ticks off of you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, all the time.
And we would have to like, because she has dark hair, guys, like we would have to like really like look through her hair for the ticks.
Yeah. And we would find them.
Oh my gosh. See, you guys, like inner child experiences, inner child healing, how amazing that is. But
yeah. And we really are born with it. I'll just go and my daughter, she's 9 and she spends all day long outside. I mean, literally, but I'm not making her go out there. She just does. And I watch her from inside and she's just like talking to the frogs and talking to the trees and like picking flowers. And she's 9 and she still like loves to talk about fairies and angels and all these things. And I'm like, she's born with that. And if I don't tell her it's not real, she's going to grow up and like have such a deeper faith in herself and who she is and in her own intuition and trusting that.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's something that I've learned too with my kids is like, don't dumb down their imagination, allow them to just be and to experience and just really just like be a kid, you know, and my son is sensitive. My little guy, Kyle, he's like super sensitive. You know, he says that he sees angels and everything like that. And I just realized like a lot of people ask me like, well, what are you gonna, you know, how do you handle that? And I say, yeah, the angels are here.
Yeah.
I'm never going to have him be scared of people, you know, the spirit ever, because spirit is what is going to guide you, you know, spirit's always been there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. If someone here is listening and maybe they are interested in learning yoga, maybe they intuitively right now, I feel like there's one person right now listening and maybe they did yoga in their 20s or whatever, and then they just kind of lost it and they really want to get back to it, but they feel like they need that push. What are 3 pieces of advice that you would give them right now?
Yeah. So my it's harder now because we can't go out and experience teachers. I will say yoga right now on Zoom is so different than what it would be like if you can hear everyone's breath and feel the energy of everyone in the room. However, on the flip side, I don't think there's ever been more yoga available online than there is right now. And so my first piece of advice is try. Like, so many studios have first week free, 1 month free. My studio, you can sign up through Erica's podcast. We can do some free classes for your listeners. Yeah. But try like all of the studios that you've been thinking of or that you see pop up on your screen. Like, try them out, because it's really easy to take one class and say you don't like it, and it's most likely because that class wasn't for you, and your teacher, your style of yoga is out there. Second piece of advice, I mean, at home, I'm going to promote this woman because I love her. Her name's Sarah Beth Yoga, and she's on YouTube, and she has free yoga. And I just think for a beginner, she is, and an advanced practitioner who just doesn't want to hear a teacher talk so much, Sarah Beth Yoga is so, so good. I just think to try her. She's like 10-minute videos, and try with like 10 minutes. And then, yeah, my third piece is just don't take it so seriously. And ditch whatever idea you have of yoga. Just ditch it, throw it out the door. I have people show up in my small little town in St. Louis, Missouri, and they're like, they had this idea of what yoga was, which kept them out of the studio for so long. And they love it now. They're all in like their 50s, not all of them, I shouldn't say all of them, but I have a lot of people who are like older in their 50s, 60s, and they're like experiencing new things in their bodies that they didn't think was possible, as far as like pain goes, like less pain and more mobility. And so drop what you know about it and just try it. Especially if you have the feeling, the calling, like, I want to move my body, or I want to be still with my body, and you feel that call, like, just try until you find your person. They're out there.
Yeah. You know what? I watched the Yogic paths on Gaia. So fascinating. Like, like how many different types of yoga there are.
Yep. There are so many styles of yoga. And this is really interesting too. It's like another thing that the ego can get in the way. I'll hear like, oh, that style of yoga is not real yoga. And my core belief is the one that makes you feel happy and connected to yourself. That's the one. I don't care what it's called, who's teaching it, or how they're teaching it. Like, if it makes you feel connected to yourself, boom, that's it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, all of it. It's at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're, that's so true. Cause it's like, if you're an angel reader or a medium, or you do this meditation or that yoga, it doesn't matter. It's finding a tool to allow you to connect with your soul. That's all it is.
That's all it is. Mm-hmm.
It's really all there is, you know?
Feeling better in your body, like, to me, is the bonus. Like, feeling change in your body, that's like the icing. The real juice is in that connection with yourself.
Right.
That glimpse, that glimmer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Sam, we have to do this again.
I know. I feel like we could talk forever.
I know, because it's like, oh, maybe the next time we'll talk about childhood trauma. I'm joking.
No, we should, but somehow hide that from our families. But no, I think that childhood trauma is, I give gratitude for it now. I'm so thankful for it. I don't think I would have ever gotten on this path, this joyful living, without it. So
no, I don't. I don't know. I'm really like starting to just like, I don't think I would have done this either without all of the craziness that was my childhood and my 20s and everything like that. So but Oh my gosh, thank you so much for finally coming on the show. I mean, we've been talking about this for like
I know. I was totally a chicken. I'm like, I don't know about podcasts, but I love it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, all of her information is in the show notes. Be sure to follow her on Instagram. She also does again, you do some free classes as well, and her classes are really, affordable as well. So be sure to check her out. Sam, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Erica. I love it. Have a great day.